Okay, so we're going to go all practical today. We're going to go all practical today, and I just want to start by revisiting our first class on the introduction to data analytics. Now, just some definitions. Of course, we know data collection of facts. That is not what I am after. Now, data analytics. Okay, data analytics is the collection, transformation, organization of data in order to draw conclusions, make predictions, drive informed decision making. And of course, this can be twisted in different ways, but that captures it. So our aim in analyzing data is to get insights from the data. Our aim is to solve problems and all that. So I remember saying that yeah, one of I mean one of these skills of a data analyst is to be able to look at data. It is important for you to see a data set, no matter the size, and make sense out of it. Okay? You see a large data set and you make sense of it. So this is the data set we've been using for a while. And by the way, this is the last day we're going to use this data set. Okay? So in the data I sent you, you'd see the tab sales data one that contains the data set we've been working with. And sales data two, we're going to look into it. Sales data one has like 100 data points, right? So 101 rows, and data set two has 208, 2,824,000. You see, we're making progress. Yeah. So you should be able to look at any data sets and make sense out of it, right? Just by perusing through it. Okay, you got to be curious, understand context, have a technical and all these stories. Yeah. So, I mean, these slides are available to everybody, right? So you go through it. I just wanted to revisit it for that purpose. So, like I said, today we are going hands-on, okay? And from what I had said, I'd want us to be able to look at data critically and make sense out of it. Today we're going to continue with pivot tables. As a matter of fact, I think for the rest of this for these sessions, for the rest of this cohort, let's say, we are going to be working with pivot tables a lot, chat, and because we're progressing to dashboards, and they're an integral part of it. Okay, so um, what are dashboards? I'll just give an intro. Um, Dashboards. I mean, in a car, in a car, if you, of course, we've all been to cars. If you look at the front, behind the steering of a car, you'd see where the fuel gauge is, the temperature, What else do you find there? The speedometer and all that. Perhaps, yeah, some other things. If your boot is open, your door is open. Yeah. So the dashboard is like putting all the summary of data, as much as the relevant ones, into one screen where everything is gonna be. So I'm just gonna show you one example of a dashboard. Um, so I had displayed this a number of times when we started our session. Yeah. So this is the onboarding um, record, the registration records for everybody who registered. This is their data, right? And here we have, okay, I transformed them to pivot tables, the pivot table, right? Different pivot tables. And this is the end product. This is the dashboard that summarizes everything that everyone that registered filled. So, and then this is Excel. Here we have 56 participants. We have a map chart showing the, the concentration via states of these people. We have a location of participants by state. We see here that Oyo State has the highest number of participants, registered participants, and River State seconding. We have the reasons for enrollment. If I modify this, we'll see this better. Apply data analytics to current role. It's the transition to data analytics being the second. So this gives a lot of insight. So here we see people with prior experience. So we see that 82% of people that joined did not have prior experience for joining. Here we see the gender, 54% male, 46% female. And then we have 59% of people here employed. And that would make sense why we have, so if we're linking up data, you see, um, the highest population of people here are self-employed, rather are employed. And we come here to see reason for enrollment, and the highest 41% say they want to apply analytical skills to their current role. So that makes a lot of sense. Since we have the highest population of people in this training as employed, it makes sense that the highest number of people would want to apply analytical skills to their current roles. The next here is transition to data analytics role, the data analytics role, and that's 25%. So transitioning could be I have a job right now, right? And I want to transition to another to a data analytics role. So and on, you could just get different insights from here. I would have said, oh, male in attendance are 54% and female 46. And what insight could I get from here? First of all, I may be tempted to say, oh, the male gender wants to, there are more of people in the male gender who want to be data analysts. But then it's too close. I mean, it's 46% and 54%. It's too close to call, right? So we'd say it's a closed one. So everybody wants to be a data analyst. All right. I mean, as a matter of fact, we could say this is some good records. We have more women being interested in getting into tech. So great insight, right? Yeah. So we have something called slicers. Slicers help you summarize data, help you filter data per se. So here, if I click on this, it's all linked and oh, it's taking so long. Okay. Yeah. So I click on female and then it just shows me data for only female here, right? Here, so here we can see there are 26 female. Uh, Registration trend, I just added this to. show. Oh, you could even make sense of it. So, so we had like a decline. Well, it doesn't really, yeah, but 12, a high number of people, of female registered for the training. But we have some breaking formula here. Yeah, but then we could easily see that. Oh, I should zoom in. Sorry. Yeah, I'm using a live screen, so yeah. So here we could see, oh, 14 female from Oyo, 9 female from Rivers, and all that and all that. And yeah. So if we go to the male and then we want to see what they're doing, oh, so there are 30 male attendees, participants, and they keep increasing. We have the highest population of male from River State. So highest population of female from in Oyo State, right? Yeah, Oyo State, white male, River State. And we could go on the slicer with um, see by country. Okay, so we have one participant from Canada. Oh, it's not linked to this data, so it's just the full. And then we have the larger population from Nigeria. If we filter by employment, if we go to the employed, click on employed, 56%, 52% rather of employed participants want to apply the analytics skills to their current role. So 21% want to transition to new roles, and on and on. For the self-employed, we have 9 participants here who are self-employed and they want to transition to data analytic roles, apply all that. Out of the self-employed, we have more female here who are self-employed than the male and all that. So we're going to look at how to create slicers today. This is also a timeline. This is based on the registration. So if I slide this, when did we start? Haven't not body registration head. Let me try this. Okay. So this is the registration date. So here we see that 22 people registered on the 15th of March, and then on and on it went, and yeah, there it is. So a dashboard shows the summary of a large data set, right? And it's very fundamental. Just gives the overview of a whole lot, right? And this began in this data. In the slides, what did we talk about? We talked about the collection of data. Um, we talked about the collection of data. We talked about transformation, and I mean, getting insights out of it. So this is our end goal. At the end of these sessions, we should be able to see any data sets and make sense out of it and visualize it. So that's what we're going to do. I just thought to point that out. Any questions so far? Yeah. No. Okay. So once again, I hope we all have the data sets. I shared it on the WhatsApp group and I sent it to your emails. So let's start. We're going to start with data set one. I'm sorry, sales data one, right? Now here's the task. I want us to look at it and make sense out of it. So we're going to do three things today. We're going to um okay, I know we've worked a lot with this, but going forward, like I said, this is the last time we're going to use this data set. We're going to phase it out after now. Oh, we're going to create a dashboard with it. It's like going to be a take home for everybody. Right. Let's see how best we can do. And yeah, and then this is a heavier data set. It's going to tax the brain. Okay, so here we have our normal data we are very familiar with right now. By way of reminder to create a pivot table, we click on any cell on the sheet. We click on any cell on the sheet. We go to insert and we click on pivot table. When we click on pivot table, it pops up this box and we really do not need to do anything. But okay, it shows table range, the range of our coverage, open in new sheets, and yes. Okay. So we'll click on OK and there we go. It opens the pivot table in a new sheet. And we can derive different insights from it, like we did in the last class, right? Vic Victor, I don't know how further I can zoom into this. Like so if I zoom in, this is gonna zoom in, but these other sections are not gonna zoom in, okay? Yeah, but don't worry, you're gonna see. So like also by way of reminding, I'm sure we already know this because I expect that we all went through the videos, the recordings, and we're in class the last class. So we have the filters, we have the columns, we have the rows and the values. Here we have the list. So the pivot table is used to summarize all the data, right? To get different angles of the data. So here we have all the fields, like literally all the columns in our data set, right? So let me just rename this sheet pivot table one. Yeah, I can change the color, right click on the tab, go to tab color and give it whatever color I want to write. Okay, so table one, region. So I drag the region to the row and total revenue comes here. Okay, so pivots just saves us the stress of doing the whole sum ifs and count ifs, which please do not forget. And yes, we get this. Okay, so if I come here, I want it in currency in dollar sign because it's in dollars total revenue. I could either come here and click on currency, rather sorry, highlights. Oops, sorry about that. Highlight everything. Go to currency, right? And that does the job. I could also right click on it, number format and currency. That also works. Okay, now I want to see the units sold. But then units sold will really not make sense here because they are different items. So just keep that out. So let's see the sales channels. I think that's good insight. I take the sales channels and I put it in column. So here we have offline and online sales. Okay, so sales channel in colon, region, and this. Then we can rename this region. So we have summary here. Okay. Now for goods visuals, we highlight just the revenues offline, online, and then we do add our conditional formatting. Our conditional formatting is in the home tab. We go to conditional formatting under the style section, conditional formatting, and we could literally use any of the colors you grid, or we just this, the contrast is a lot with this. So let me try another color. Green, red, and okay. So what these help do is, it helps individuals, and you could from the table easily see, make sense out of this. All right. Okay. So from here we could see Sub-Saharan Africa had higher sales, and this guy here, this guy here, and okay, Sub-Saharan Africa had the highest offline sales. Europe had the highest, and highest online sales and all that. So we're gonna do a task now. Okay, I'm just gonna do a second example, and then we're gonna task ourselves together. Like I said, today is do it yourself. I'm just doing intro, going somewhere. Now I copy this pivot and I paste it here, and I think it would be good to know the highest selling product in each region, right? To remove a, what do you call it? To remove conditional formatting, you highlight the areas where you have conditional formatting, go to your conditional formatting, and you can go to clear rules. Either you clear the rules in the entire sheet or in the selected sheets, or from this pivot table, anyone works, and I take that out. So now I want to see the items that sold the most in each region, right? And I come here, go to item type, and I drag it to the row and see what happens. So in my pivot, the item type is under the region, right? And here we see for every region, all the items are under each region, all the items sold. Do we remember I was sorting from the last class? So I want to sort by the total revenue, and maybe we can take off the sales from the column. So we just look at the revenue per product in every region. I go to column and I take away the sales channel. So here we all we see is the region. I come here, right click and sort from largest to smallest. Okay. And here we can see that in different regions, we had different highest sellers. And oh, we could literally highlight everything. Hope it's gonna work. Okay, I think I'll just so let's put some conditional formatting here. I would take away the region first. I don't think I need to do that anyway. I'll come here, conditional formatting. Okay, I'll highlight the total revenues for each item. Go to, let me just use colors and this. So green shows the highest and red shows the lowest, right? Now I'll go put my region at the top of products. So this helps me see the performance per region. Okay, so it's clearer from the greens. The greens are the higher, the better low. So for Asia, we see that the highest sellers were household and office supplies. And then for Australia, we have the highest. So fruits had the lowest sellers for Asia, Australia, fruits too, and fruits too. So we see fruits being our lowest sellers in the different regions. What insight could that give? Should we phase away fruits? I mean, we're not really getting profit from it, right? Or whatever. But then we see, oh, our highest sellers in Russia are household appliances, I guess, and office supplies. So in planning for the next fiscal year or the next year budgeting, one would need to probably invest more in household appliances and supplies. I mean, amongst the rest, for these regions, yeah, cosmetic because they are the highest sellers there, right? There's a high demand for it in these places. Okay, so that's how we get insights. Okay, so the task that was given in our last class was to a chart, right? Was to do a chart of this, a pivot chart. And like I said, to do a pivot chart, you go to the table, to the pivot table you want to do a chart on, click on it, go to your pivot analyze, and you see pivot chart. Click on pivot chart and you select what suits you the most, right? Whichever chart you want to use that will pass the message across and you use it. For simplicity, I'll just use a bar chart, maybe this. Yeah. So when you're working with charts, um, especially in the later versions, you could modify the chart in whatsoever way suits you. And there's a plus sign at the top right corner. You click on it. I'm just going to do some walking around. So I'm taking off this get breadlines. I don't want them. What else do I not want? Or what do I want? Okay, I think I want the data label. Oops, that this data label is too much. I mean, it's just going to make my data messy. So, okay, data label. So I could modify it, but I would. So if I come here with an arrow, I go to more options, and yeah, I don't think I really want to. I'll just change the chart type so that I don't confuse you. So if you want to change your chart type after you've created a chart, okay, I'm just going to take this off right now. Take off the data label. You can right click on the chart and then you see change chart type. Simple as that. You go to colon. I think this would be nicer. Um, just play around the add data tables, data labels. I think I want to no, not data labels. Sorry. I think I want to work on the axis title, right? Yeah. Text direction horizontal. Oh, no, no, not that. This is called the axis. Yeah, it's not axis title, the axis. So okay. I just leave it like that for now. This you could remove these guys. We don't need them sometimes unless you do hide labels, right? And this is a chart. So, oh, you could add a chart title. Sorry, and we call this sales, or rather, it's total of revenue per sales channel. Just call the region revenue per sales channel. Um, yeah, you can copy a chart and move it to another sheet. Maybe we call this chart. So let's try another chart. So I've copied this. I'll just take this out. It's still going to be here. Um, let's see what this on. Okay, I'll just copy this and paste again, and maybe we want to see the profits from each region. I'll take total revenue away, take sales channel away, and I'll just put total profits in the values, and this is it. So let's try out a pie chart. Pivot to the chart, and here is a pie chart. Okay, I can remove this. So it's good to define your tables. What's this? This is a region, profit per region. Yeah. So if we go to so for pie charts, you can put it in percentage. If you put our labels, oh, we see a whole lot of data. You could change the color or stuff, and we could change the format. This is a callout. So and this shows in percentage too, the percentage regions, percentage. Or if we're doing that, we may not need a legend because this would like literally show us everything, right? Percentage. And I'll just copy this and paste it. So a task that I would want you all to do is to derive as much data as possible. So look at the data sets for sales. In our sales data one, look at the data set. So we've worked on this data set like all our lives in these sessions. Look at this data set, use pivot tables, and make sense out of as much data as possible, and put all the charts you can make, define them, and put them on a different sheet. So I'll call this chart underscore one. Okay, and this is something I want you to do now. So do it and let's hear from you. But before we get into that, I would want to show you something that you would love to see. Slicers. I had talked on slicers earlier when sorry, 1 second. When I was showing the data on the sales data. I'm just looking for how best to arrange this right now. I don't even know. Okay, so let's look at slicers. Now, for a data set, you want to add slicers to a table. If you go to, you can either get it from pivot charts. Okay, so when you go to pivot table analyze, rather, you'll see insert slicer, right? If you click on insert slicer, it brings out the list of all the tables, right? List of all the fields, all the columns in your pivot table, or in your chart. And then, So what it does is like it gives you different views of different stuff. So I'll select region, for example, and I click on OK, right? So if you click on region, it shows the list of all the regions there. So if I just want to see data for only Asia, I click on Asia and it filters the data for Asia. That's for this. If I want to see just, so basically slicers give you the summary of a data set, right? Now we could link this all up together in, so one slicer does the filter for everything, right? And that was how I was able to make the other sheet. On your slicer, when you create a slicer and you right click on it, you'd see something called report connections. If you click on report connections, it's basically, oh, what fields do you want these slicers to filter on? So if you notice, I can zoom this in. When you click on reports, let me cancel on it again. On the slicer, I right click and I click on report connections. When you click on report connections, it gives you the list of all the pivot tables on your, in your data set, right? So I, you have to select all the pivot tables that you want to connect together and click on OK. Good practice is naming your pivot table. So you can choose to name your pivot table so that when you're putting your connections, it's easy for you. Like I click on this, go to insert, go to pivot table analyze, and I can rename it. But sorry, I think I'm showing you a whole lot of things at the same time. So I'll slow down on that. So let's see what happens now. I have connected these three charts together. I click on Asia, and if you notice, just Asia is here. Shows the top profit for Asia, shows the sales for Asia, and then this is, these are just items sold in Asia. If I go to Australia, you see change, total revenue, total profit for Australia, their revenue, and then by this. Europe, we have the filters, and basically that's what slicers do. A slicer helps you filter the data in a neat way and easier rather than going here, filter this and that. And yes, you can also apply multiple filters at the same time with your slicer. You press and hold and click multiple items. So you click on one item, click on the control key, and click on as much items you want in your filter, and it just populates. So that's it. Oh, okay. What about asking this question? Okay, come again with slicers. Yeah, so a hand is up. Is it on the come again with slicers? Okay, slicers. Let's look at slicers again. So I want to create a slicer. I go to pivot analyze, and here you see insert slicer. Well, there's also insert timeline. So you use insert timelines when you're working with dates, right? Now we have a column for dates, so we're probably going to use that, but let's keep that aside for now. So insert slicer. Here we see the slicer is used to filter data visually, right? So slicers make it faster and easier to filter tables, pivot charts, and the rest of them. Yeah. So So you go to pivot analyze and you click on insert filters, that's all. And then you select what you want to filter, what you want to filter, have your filters by what you want your sliders to be. You can select multiple sliders, keep them. So I'll select region, I'll select sales channel, I'll select other priorities, and I click on OK. So here we see three sliders have come based on my selection, sales channel, other priority, and region. Okay, because I'm zoomed in, I cannot really, let me smart a bit. Okay, so if I want to see summary by region, okay, let's see Asia's performance. I click on Asia and it just shows the summary. Now notice there are three pivot tables here, but it's filtering for only this. This is because my hand was on, I had clicked on this particular pivot table before I clicked on the insert slicer, right? So it's just going to filter for all this, for this particular one. All right. So if you have one pivot table and you want to get a filter for it, that could also work perfectly for you. Now for this one, I could either select by region and then it filters for just the regions, the different regions I want to view. And if I want to check by other priority, performance, it's going to do that. But let's say we want all this connected, and let me try to make this more organized to something makes that looks more credible. Okay, adjust this. Mm. So this is total revenue by region, right? I'm going to pick off the sales channels. So this is some of total revenue by region. Maybe I just take this off and add profits to the same pivots, total profit, just so it needs. Control X and Control V. Maybe I should remove the conditional formatting in these pivots. Yeah. So we have, sorry, this products item type, right? So we have item type and total revenue from item type. What else can we get from a chart? I just copy this and paste, show the field, and maybe sum of product items sold, so units sold. We can have that here. No, it's not in. It's still taking the other format of currency. So we'll change it to unit cost. That's what I did. Units sold is what I need here. Yeah, we can take away the zeros by changing the number of decimal places. And this region, or rather, should we have a colon for country? Country, yeah. So I've called this country, and okay, maybe total revenue again. Yeah, that works. Total revenue per country. Maybe we sort it from largest to smallest. And this. So we have these three tables, right? And we want to filter them accordingly and just see difference. You could click on any of the pivot tables and go to pivot analyze and insert slicer. And when you click on insert slicer, it shows you all the fields in your pivot table or in your table in your data set. And we could view by region, whatever, or anything you want to view by item type. So want filters for region, filters for item type, filter for sales channel and other priority. Let's stop there. And it brings out a single slicer for each of them. So I'm just going to arrange them this way so they look more decent. Okay. I'm trying to arrange them so we could see all of them while I click. It is a lot, so I'll take away the item type. And let's just stick to region, sales channel, and other priority, especially that they're not here. So since we click on this particular table, it's going to show sales. If you notice when I click on it, it applies to this. So offline sales is what we have here. Online sales, we have a filter for it. So if you want to get narrowed down insights, here, if you want to see the performance via different sales channels, and if you want to see the performance via region. But then, remember we said a dashboard is putting all the key points together and summarizing them so that it makes a whole lot of sense in one view. Okay, so we can't be having individual slicers for all this. So there is a function, there is the option to connect all the pivot tables to one slicer, right? And to do that, you click on a slicer, right click, and you'd see report connections. You click on report connections and you check the checkbox. So you check all the boxes for all the pivot tables that you want in your all the pivot tables you want linked to your slicer, and click on OK. So once you do that, I click on this, and then there's a general filter for all of them. So I click on Asia, and it just gives me the summary of everything that has to do with Asia, right? Asia, the region, the countries, these are the countries in Asia, and then these are the items. I go to Australia, and this is just for Australia. Sub-Saharan Africa, and it just filters based on our selection, right? If you click on offline, online is still going to be here. So we have to, for every slicer we have to put a connection for all of them. We have to ensure it's connected to all the tables we want it to be connected to, so that at one click, it is giving us the summary for every table, right? And that is that about slicers. I hope you understand. We tried it out. Did it work for you? Yeah. So in while I'm open to questions, in data analytics, it's critical to understand the domain you're working in, or you're trying to analyze. We've been working a lot with sales data, right? So this is sales. So understanding the context would help you be able to make sense out of it and make inferences, bring out insights from it when you understand it. And by the way, um, our pivot tables are connected to our pivot charts, hence our slicers. So if we just copy this here, so if we click on a slicer, it also affects our pivot charts, right? I think it's not working here because I've deleted the pivots for this one. Profits per region. I don't think it's here anymore. Yeah. So that's why it is this way. If we put multiple sheets, once they are linked, once the pivot tables are linked together to the slicer, it automatically does same to the pivot charts. So like I was saying, you need to look at data and be able to make sense out of it and get insights through this. Okay, do we have questions? No questions. Okay, so I want us to try this out. I want us to look at the data and get as much insights as you can from it. Number one. Number two, I want to create. I want you to create what do you call it? The pivot tables. Of course, the insights you're getting the insight you're doing pivot tables, getting pivot tables with them, and then um I want you to generate charts from them, however the charts are, and then have a tab, a separate worksheet where you put all your tabs, just like this, the different formats. Okay, I hope that's clear. So let's try it out. So a question from Mary, how do we connect sliders to charts? So once your sliders are connected to the pivot tables, they are connected to the charts that you generate from the pivot tables. Okay. Okay. So let me just do a quick one. So this is items and the revenue. What would be the best chart for this? Do let me do a pie chart. Since I took the other pie chart away, right? And I just put the values, a lot of values. So I just go for the percentage. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. is what item type of revenue, revenue per item type. So if I come to this here, as far as the the as far as the what do you call it? The slicers are connected to all the related pivot tables. Once I click on it, it reflects on both of them, right? Yeah. Oh, I should zoom this in. Okay. So let's try this out. Let's get as much insight as we can. That's what I want us to do today. So we're going to do that. We're going to also look into this heavy data set, right? And so by next class, we'll be looking at, so we're just going to be looking at different data sets. By next class, we should look at HR data sets. You could bring your data sets if you have some you want to look into, and so on. And the target is by the next 3 classes, at most 4 classes, you should have created some very interactive dashboards on your own where you can showcase on social media, LinkedIn, and all that. Right. I'm I'm going to share a dashboard, the dashboard I created from this data, from this data set. But let me see what you have right now. Let me see insights you can generate. Any challenges so far? Any questions? Please feel free. Get to work. Are we trying it out? If you're done, you could let me know. Okay. Pivot charts. Pivot charts, right? The pivot sheets. Okay. So I hope I remember how to like, I mean, filter on our sheet. We wouldn't want 100 countries on our dashboard. So what would be sensible to be maybe the top 10. Here I could come right click, filter by top 10 based on the total revenue and okay, there it is. So when you're done, please send me. So when you're done, do something like this. I just quickly go. I don't want to see your chats. Like you could like make them small, it's fine. And take a screenshot. If you can take a screenshot of your screen, that'll be perfect. And share. To take screenshots with your computer, there is a tool called sniffing tool or sniping tool. You search, you see sniping tool, and then you click on new, then highlight your screen, and you could oh, drag the area you want to screen grab and save it. Or you could just snap it with your phone or something. But please take the pictures and share with me. Post it on the Please post on the WhatsApp platform. And by the way, just so you know, every assessment is being noted, right? We're taking notes every assignment, who is doing assignments and who isn't doing assignments, and it's adding to your grades. So you should be doing assignments. Okay. Yeah. So I think I have this summary sheet of, sorry, I'm just quickly show this of assignments. So we're like, how many in, I think we are up to 58 registered or so. And for the first assignment, see, this is visualization inside the data. For the first assignment, we just had 12 participants do it, 21% of the full number. For the second assignment, 6 out of 58, that's so poor. And for the third assessment, 5 participants. So our participation is generally poor. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do mine too, so that I don't get bored. Everything. So revenue per item type, regional revenue. What else? Oh, I can make a chart of the top 10 countries. Yeah, I mean, just for this. By the way, a table could be part of your visualization, really. It doesn't all have to be charts, charts, charts. And I would also love to mention that um, a lot of learning would have to come from you practicing, right? You wouldn't learn everything here, but you would, the whole aim is to have the fundamental knowledge, right? And for the purpose of this learning, the end goal is the end goal is to be able to see data sets and using the Excel tool, make fundamental sense out of it, right? Um, Getting familiar with the Excel interface was one of the primary goals, and our final learning outcome was to be able to create dashboards from data. That means summarize data based on different stuff here. So please, I would also like the your sheet sent to me on WhatsApp, sent to the email when you're done, so one would access your learnings and what you've done and see where we can improve on. I've posted the email, so screenshots to the group. Hopefully, it encourages other people to participate, to see the videos and all. And yeah, so I'm going to pick this. I want sales channel a good insight. Yes, please, Femi.
Good evening. Please, can you just recap the instructions? Sorry, I'm just joining. Like the assignment or something, or what is expected of us.
Okay. Yeah, so simply look at the data set and make sense out of it, get insights from it, pivot tables, pivot charts, and send.
Okay.
All right. So for this, I'm really not doing much of. I'm trying not to, as much as possible, repeat what we have already taught, what we did in the last class. So if you are quite lost, you could refer to the recordings of the last class, right? So, yeah. but please feel free to ask questions. So if I've done something and I mean, I'll just assume everybody understands it if there are no questions. Okay. Yes, please, I will.
I please, can you explain how to get the top 10 again? Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, that's the filter. Okay. Okay, just clear this up so that see. Okay. So this is our country, right? Country, and we want to get the top 10. Just where you have the column for the country, you right click on any of the cells, and then you'll see filter. So when you see filter, you see top 10, and you click on top 10. See show top 10 if you want top 5, if you want whatever number, item by sum of total revenue, right? And you click on OK. So it gives you top 10. I hope you got that. Yeah. So I just figured a pivot table is not a chart, and this is for charts. So I'm just going to create a chart for this. That's why I keep coming here. Wait, I want to see people creative with charts. Like, just try out anything that makes sense. I may not even be. Oh, doesn't work. Perhaps I would add to a next class, show how to make data smart, like for this a lot of data, how to simplify it so that yeah. This is the best chat for this. So I think I feel generally top 10, I mean, when it comes to a table could make sense. By the way, there are some charts you can make from pivot tables, like maps and where they um so maps and think yeah, some of these newer three maps you can't. So you may need to like use static data to summarize this. Or you could just, yeah, you could just create a non-pivot table and link it all up. Okay, so yes, we have to submit tonight. Like this is classwork, not homework, right? I, I'm literally doing just a few so that you don't have to. So I don't give you all the expo you can possibly get. Yeah, I want to see the ingenuity. I want to see the creativity. I want to see, yes, everything seeable from everybody. Right. Okay, so from the data set we're working with right now, I created this data. Um, I'll just probably zoom it in. Yeah. And yeah, I wish. I mean, I did this some time back. I'm sure I'd probably do better right now. But we're going to learn how to do this. Just the chat. Oh, I use this for top 10 chats. Okay. Yeah. So please also add a slicer. I would want you to add slicers to and that connects to every pivot table that you have in your sheets. Okay? So you have to submit this tonight. In fact, after 12 midnight, it wouldn't be acceptable again. Yeah. Is that too harsh? Okay, yeah, just try as much as possible to submit tonight. Yeah, so sales data 2 is going to be more or less a take home. And then this is because it's so fresh and had we've not got to do it. So this would give some really good insight as to what you, I mean, want understanding, and we'll take it up from there. Okay. So lastly for tonight, I would want to show us an aspect of pivot tables called calculated fields. Calculated fields. Okay, I'll just open a new sheet so that we don't have data all jumbled up. Perhaps I would copy this and paste here. So we have the regions, we have total revenue, and then we have um, the total profits. Okay, so okay, so Yinka, the classwork is to look at data sales data one and make sense of it, get all the insights you can possibly think of, and represent them in pivot tables and however you mix them, and then charts. Okay, yeah. Sometimes. Okay, so calculated fields. So beyond beyond um just putting in values to the rows and columns and all that, there's something called calculated fields. Now you can carry out calculations within a pivot. Now here we have total sales and then we have total profits. Now let's say we want to find out what percentage of the total profits is, what percentage of the total revenue is the total profit. So basically the percentage profits from the revenue, right? Now, we have a lot of business men and women here, so I'm sure you know the insights you want in sales. In sales, oh, what's it? What's yeah, different things. So you need to understand a business domain for you to get the best insights possible to help in data-driven business decision making. So I want to see what percentage of this total profit, what percentage of the total revenue is the total profit. So still on in the pivot table analyze, on that calculation, you see a section called calculations. You see what we call, you see fields, items, and sets. If you click on it, the first thing you'll see is calculated field. And if you click on calculated field, a pop-up box comes up. Now, yeah. So the name, we want to get the percentage profit, right? So I put percentage, percentage. Um, so this can go either ways. I wouldn't want to call this percentage profit. But if we're saying percentage profit, it could be what is the percentage profit? What it could be the percentage profit that Sub-Saharan Africa is contributing from the total profit. If it's that way, it's going to be percentage of, it's going to be like this, the Sub-Saharan Africa over this, rather grand total over total profit, right? What percentage? I am almost confused. This over this. Is it? Yeah. So the total revenue, the profit from Sub-Saharan Africa over the grand total profit, that would give you percentage profit. But what name can I give this now? Percentage profits of revenue. So maybe I just call this percentage P of R. And I just made that up. So P of R. So in calculated fields, you can calculate different fields in the same pivot table, right? So here it's going to be total profits, total profits inside field divided by, our slash that are divided by, so divided by total revenue instead. So we want to know what percentage of the total revenue is the profits. And then, so here the formula is total profits divided by total revenue. And then this is like percentage profit of revenue. That's what I'm calling it. And then I click on OK. We see here that a new colon comes up and with some funny name, but there's the whole dollar sign and we want our stuff in percentage, not in dollar sign. So we just highlight everything and click on percentage, right? And then it does the maths for us. So from here we can see that 31% of the total revenue was our profits, and on and on. So on an average, from the total revenue, we see that 32%. So we made 32% profit from the total revenue. Total revenue includes um, cost price plus profits, or rather selling price plus profits. So if you look at our data, we have cost price. Oh yes, it's actually cost price plus profits. That gives us our total revenue. Let me try that and confirm. This is 253365. 253. Beautiful. So total cost and profit gives you the total revenue. So if we want to see how much was made, so 31% is good stuff. So on average, this company made 32% profit over this period of time, right? And that's how you use calculated fields. So it could be anything. If you want to do subtraction, you just click on the pivot table, go to pivot analyze and fields, items, calculated fields, and you do your maths. Okay. So it's a good to know, even though you may not need to dwell on it right now so much, whilst you grasp this other one. Okay, so I'm just going to do one more chart for myself and I'll paste it on the group so that maybe we have an idea of what I am saying for the assignments. All right, so I'll take this. And yes, Femi, please ask.
Okay, please. I'm having a challenge with this percentage profits.
That's the
I don't
calculated
know.
fields.
Yes, the calculated fields. Mine is
Okay.
still giving me in dollar sign.
Oh, just highlight. So usually that happens because we had converted this colon to currency. So when we add another colon, it just takes the same format, right? So if you highlight
Yeah, but it's
everything,
also giving me all zeros.
like 0.00.
Yeah,
What
in dollars.
what did you do? What did you divide?
So if you could just come over it again, maybe I could just pick it.
Okay. So two fields. We have two fields here. We have total revenue, we have total profit, right? We want to see the POR, that's the percentage profit of the revenue, right? So what percentage of the revenue is our profit? That kind of thing. And yeah, we go to calculated fields under fields items, calculated field, and we give it a name. I'll call this Femi. Fine, just be nice and call it percentage. Since we already have a percentage, I'll just put two percentages, POR. So that's the name of the column you're putting. Now the next is the formula, right? And yeah, so the formula is just like you're doing a, it's just like you're entering stuff into a cell in Excel equal to this over this, right? So it's going to be equal to, so we want to know the percentage of our total profit is total revenue. So I'm just going to equal to, I've forgotten the math I used to. Total revenue, right? Insert divided by total profits. Insert. That's what I did, yeah. And I click on OK. Yes, Femi.
So is it supposed to be revenue over profit or profit over revenue?
Sorry, it's supposed to be profit over revenue. Forgive me. Yes, it is. Yes. So I just go back to calculated fields and edit it. Go to percentage. What? No. Under the name, percentage, and I'll change this to total profits, and this to total revenue, and okay. There we go. Percentage. So I hope you get the gist now. Okay, so any other questions, please? So I'll go for this class, and the next class would be to look at data sets and make sense out of them, right? Look at data sets and make sense of. There's a whole lot of data sets at my disposal from different fields, different walks of life. There is HR data, there is sports data, and all of them. So we're going to look at them and we're going to make sense out of them. And it's not even going to be like this. It's okay. I'm just going to, let me see if I can open a sample just to show you what I'm talking about. It's going to be real life case studies. That's what we're going to be looking at going forward. So it's just very important that we have a grasp on this, and that's why I'm giving us this task. We're going to be looking at case studies going forward. So it's important to look at this data, to look at data, see data, and make sense out of it. Right. Um, that's why I gave you this one. Like this one has a whole lot of insights one can get from here. And another thing is that the data is not even so clean. So you have to do some data cleaning, like the the headers are somewhat confusing. So if you look very carefully, you'll find out that there is no spacing. You may want to go on and space it, space them, quantity, or just so that price each is, I mean, what's price each? Price each is like unit price, order line number. I mean, I don't even know what that is, right? But you do your research, make sense out of it, and the ones you can derive, the order date. So this is some very beautiful data I see here that we can make sense out of it. Product line, that's the product. Wow, I wish I was given this tax to do. So yeah. So this should be submitted by, this is what? This is Thursday. Oh, yeah. So, um, by Saturday, because we have a session on Sunday, right? And we're entering, there's like a whole lot of data set. So by Saturday, 6 p.m., or what do you think? Is 6 p.m. too soon? Okay, Saturday before midnight, please, it should be submitted. Um, yes, just charts and graphs. Sorry, pivots and charts. That's just what I want from this data. But for this other one today, as a matter of fact, immediately after the class, I'll be going through them to see what we've performed, what we've done, right? I'm still open to questions. Why I think I want to do one more chat here for myself. Shipping dates. So this is nice. Shipping dates and let's see, units sold, percentage, no. So when your items come in an unfavorable format, you have to format it. Oh, here we can see that the highest unit of items were sold in 2020. Please, where do we send the classwork? So for the classwork, please send the Excel file via email to the Teamtech email address. That's where we accumulate all our. And send the Excel file there, and then the snapshots to the WhatsApp page, just like this I'm going to do now. I'm going to get a snapshot of mine and send to the WhatsApp platform. Okay, any other questions, please? I'm here to help. Everyone seems so quiet. Are we busy doing the task or something? Please feel free to play around these guys. Like that's how you learn, by playing around. Hmm. Like I'm literally playing around right now. Oh yes, and one more thing, please. One more thing. So for pivot tables, right? When it comes to pivot tables, you can and your slicers, okay, you could actually change the designs. You could change the colors. If you want to click on it, you see design at the top of your screen. If you click on them, you could change them. There's a whole lot of options to visualize your data. So you could like try out some, make them beautiful. You could do it manually or not, or however. Just try this out. Your slicers too can be changed, and the slicers, try them out, and all that and all that. Forgive my disorganization today. I am just playing around. Yeah.